in the interest of public health. The problem I see as a major is a psychological perception by the government. Many government thinks that industry means for profit, and industry is trying to exploit the government and trying to take away something from the government. There's nothing. The government is also working in public health. We're also working in the public health. Okay? There's no difference. But the only thing is, two different hats. But both are working in one goal of saving the lives of the children in the villages or in the community. And at that concept, if the government gets rid of that psychological war, then your UID, mass immunization, everything can be successful. I think the government has to get rid of that psychological war in the mind against the companies. And that, if that changes, will change everything.
The question that comes to mind, and that's again to you, you have this big wall you are hitting and it's not moving. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. There is a huge uncertainty. What kind of a transformational, image can you actually make of the vaccine industry in India? Because it cannot be incremental. It cannot be like you are always waiting for the next thing to happen, so that the investments per actually happens. Because there is, again, like as far as we know, we always know that it's going to be supply depending. Most of the companies are in this WHO issues are going on. So what kind of a transformational thing? I mean, Hillman Labs, which is a Wellcome Trust Merck venture, they have thought about so many vaccines that could be really making a difference to the population here. Can the local companies come up and say that, okay, this is what we have? You have actually made a couple of initiatives. So if you can give some kind of an idea on that.
See, we have industry has got conflict with the two problems. One problem, you want to develop a vaccine which can be absorbed by UNICEF and Gavi and sold in many countries. That's one angle. There's another angle. There are some diseases which are not solved by the Gavi or UNICEF or those people, but it has to be a domestic-based problem. Look at leishmania in Bihar. Okay, it's a small problem, but it's a solvable. There are a lot of vaccine candidates. Who would take up that type of projects? So risky. Typhoid. Typhoid is there not present in US and Europe. It is not a problem in Europe because food and water is a totally salmonella free. Except they eat some chicken, they get problem. Otherwise, they're totally healthy. But the typhoid is a major problem in the developing world. But who will take care of that? The Gavi is not interested. UNICEF is not interested in the typhoid. But then somebody has to take it up. When we take up the project like this typhoid, the government of India says, oh, WHO is not recommending. So why should I take your vaccine? You see, you get into trouble now again. You develop a risky project like this, and then you get stuck that, no, we will buy a rotavirus, not typhoid. And if we develop some leishmania vaccine, no, it's WHO still not recommending, and we can't recommend the vaccine. So we have conflict with the industry is now facing a two problem. Whether you want a vaccine which is only Gavi wants it, Gavi-driven or UNICEF-driven market, or otherwise a domestic market and where the public health need can be addressed. And I see the vaccine manufacturers, that is one concept we have to build in, particularly domestic industries, not the multinational. Multinational stakeholders' interests are different. But certainly domestic companies can look at it. What is the public health problem of each society? Chinese companies should look at it, the public health problem of that society, take up that issue and try to solve themselves. India should also, domestic industry should look at it, small problem and solve it. Like, simple example like chikungunya is a major problem. Japanese encephalitis is a major problem in India. Leishmania is a problem. Malaria is a problem. Malaria is not a problem in US and Europe. It's a problem of this country, this continent. And I think this is where the domestic industry should look at very cautiously. You want a product which is globe can procure, or you want a vaccine which cannot be procured by the government of India itself. So we are in the conflict. That's a tough job, and we are trying to take certain decisions.
I just want to add, if you look at the Indian companies, they supply almost about 40+% of vaccine globally. And there's only one or two company in India supplying to the government which has WHO approval. So this is conflict. So, what's good for us, for outside is not good for us. Now, we need to first set our house in order. I think that's very, very important. Now, we have seen quality is a big issue, and quality is not one time. Is a continuously the culture of how do you turn out the same product day in and day out. And that doesn't happen with Indian company. They fail. They do it on a jerk, and then something comes up, they fail. So that's discipline needs to be there right up front. And you need to really have a solid quality product for Indian masses also, if you care for the Indian people. That's one. Secondly, you look at the regulation piece. Now, the pharma regulation is well entrenched in domestic. And if you want to export, this is what Mahima said in the morning, I really owe it to her. If you want to export, you have FDA approval or European approval and so on and so forth, which is well defined. Whereas the approvals here is only the Indian approval which is valid throughout the world. Is that approval good enough for you to sustain your quality globally? Or you want to really have a stronger regulatory approval so that your quality is not the lowest denominator but the highest one? That one piece is very, very critical. Are you going to follow the lowest denominator quality because of the local approval and then don't get your product approved abroad is an issue that we need to also debate about. I think this regulatory approval is very, very critical, and therefore I think the rigor of approval, the rigor of the regulation in this industry becomes much, much critical than it comes to pharma industry, because you don't require a US FDA, you require self-regulation here.
I'm Axing, sector of the life science. I just want to make a point to all these experts sitting, because we have government officials, we have industry leaders here sitting in the audience. If you talk about Indian, we always think about IT outsourcing. That's the first thing comes to people's mind when you talk about India. But if you look at the last decade also, outsourcing IT within India, it's actually losing edge. It's just getting more and more like cost centers, just handling the cost. The IT, actually, the innovation, the patents, anything coming out of the high-tech IT, almost is now coming from the Indian side. And that's something we have to think about it. In terms of the vaccine, like this we talk about, regulations is a key, and quality control is very important. And these two things is the foundation for innovations and vaccine area. We are talking about cancer vaccines right now. It's a very popular and cutting-edge medical field, and there will be tremendous change of human beings' health and in terms of the medical field. So that's something we have to really think about it.
A question, one more question on the Chinese, landscape so far as vaccines are concerned. About 35, 40 companies are there, and all of them are probably also looking at the huge reforms that are happening there. Do you think they are also doing something innovative in terms of the products that they are actually looking at, or is it like mostly the run-of-the-mill products? Can you give some kind of a local flavor of the vaccine industry?
Right now, I just came back from the BioCEO conference in Shanghai about 3 weeks ago. If you look at there, the drive is very strong. When you get there, you can feel the excitement and the drive within community, especially on the biologics and the vaccine field. They are thinking pretty, advanced. They are not thinking about how we can get revenues from this CMO business, how we can increase our revenue for the CRO business. What they were thinking about is how we can get a new product so that we can get this competitive edge among the field, in the field. For example, a specific example is they are thinking about a lot of delivery technologies. Because vaccine, there's a lot of delivery technologies in it, and how you improve the technology so that the delivery system and technology so that you can get more potent vaccines, safer vaccines. And this is something you go there, you can feel that they are thinking about it. And that's something, I feel there's a big difference in terms of the atmosphere for the BioCEO meeting in Shanghai.
About 1.5 billion out of the 5 billion that they sell in terms of vaccines. What has been the experience? You've been finding it very favorable. Any lessons that the Indian systems can learn from that?
Well, if you look at the Chinese market over a period of last couple of years, it has got evolved quite a bit. And some of the vaccines which are there into the public program, I think for us to really get it here in India will actually take more than 2 decades. So I think the majority of the sales that is being generated are from the public market, and I think Sanofi has been doing a pretty good job in terms of competing with the Chinese company in China, and I think two vaccines are such vaccines which are very competitive in nature, but still we are ahead of them in China. I hope I have answered your question.
So we've discussed quite a length of subjects in terms of what are the potentials, what are the drawbacks, where we can see the future coming from.